Okay, welcome new friends, old surveillance friends. Welcome everybody. So the reason why I got a new account was because I was kicked out of my old account, and I don't know, it was weird. It was the way it went down. It was like Instagram was the reason, and something to do with some kind of addendum to my Instagram or something that I was allegedly subscribing to that was against, community standards. But I never use Instagram for hardly anything, if at all. It was more like something fun to play with, and that was it. That's not really my forte. And so there was no way. They said that if you have an issue with Instagram, then it closes down your Facebook account. And it was done through New York, but then through Facebook just recently, like January 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, something like that, they said that they removed my email address. And so now there's only one email address to both these accounts, and the username to the accounts, Jillian Mighty Epperly and Jillian Epperly, have been transposed. And I republished the Exposing the Lies page because that was unpublished. I was able to get back into my group because I still had the Jilly Juice business page, my old one, that was archived as the admin, and I was able to get into the Jilly Juice old archive page through, now this is the thing, through a back door. Now I don't know how this happened, but I was going through it, like, you know how you go into you go into your phone, you go into Google, and it's like the Google Chrome, and so I guess that has me still logged in as Jillian Mighty Epperly, my old account, but my app has the Jillian Epperly, my new account. And so then I was trying to figure out a way, but see, they're trying to link through one email address. Well, no, there's two email addresses because I had another email address, another one, that's right. Which I'm not going to say which one that is. That's fine. But yeah, I have two different email addresses for both those accounts. So I was logged into one. And so through Google, it's logged into one email address. And then through my app, it's logged into another email address. So there's two different separate accounts. It's so fucked. It's just crazy. I mean, it is what it is. But then I was able to then attach myself as admin to my old group, which I'm not really going to be using that group. I mean, that's just there because it's been there forever. But it's not something that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to use my regular account. Sugar, how you doing? Yeah, good girl. There you go. Okay. And so, Lordy, like every 2 hours, I'm pooping her, feeding her, and she goes down for a nap and giving her water and putting her outside. Every 2 hours. So for those of you that have just come back into my world because you disappeared because of whatever, catching up is, let me catch you up. I have my new book out. Okay. You obviously go to my jillyjuice.com. You can see my new website that I did myself, because right after I did all this other stuff, I then got into the creative mode and updated my website and corrected it. And then I also published my book. So it's out in the market right now. I'm also using my website as a blog site, okay? And I'm also now, since I have reversed all my issues and I'm doing awesome, now we're looking at the animal world. We're looking at my dog, and we're seeing how my dog is going to survive climate change. Because right after my book was published, which is such a weird timing, as soon as my book was published, my dog started sliding downhill aggressively. I mean, she's already kind of sliding downhill, but I figured she was regressing, as in, well, not regressing, but, reversing her aging process, which she was, because she looked young, she looks like a puppy, and you guys seen that. But then she started sliding back even more aggressively, and she had a weird behavior of going into the tub when she otherwise didn't before, and was climbing into the tub looking for water. And then she had a luxating patella, which she still kind of does right now, but she was losing weight extremely fast. And so then I figured out that I had to go and process all the food that she would eat normally, like an adult, and add milk or half and half, and also like a Vet RX milk supplement plus baby food and whatever, put it all in a blender and feed her through a bottle. And that's the only way she's being fed, because it's the only way she's going to eat. Even giving her water. She doesn't even drink out of a water dish right now. And then she started growing a major cyst. And so now you can see where the last week or so you've seen all my posts. So now I've caught you up, and then you can look at all my posts about the cyst. A cyst is medical trauma or damage from an accident. Like, they say that you can get cancer from accidents that happened in the past because it didn't heal all the way because of the use of anti-inflammatories, trapping damaged cells within, and using antibiotics. And so she has a cyst from some kind of prior tumor removal prior to me, and also then that cyst has been aspirated, and that you can see the aspiration point because it's scabbing up. And so that's why you see then the posts about scabs, because her cyst is now finally healing the way it was supposed to. Because as soon as all of the anti-inflammatory programming, all the antibiotics, all the different remedies that were used on her were spit out of her ass, because a couple weeks ago she just had explosive diarrhea in the middle of the night one time. And it was crazy. The frequencies were so insane. And then she was really just energetic and inside of kind of a frenzy. And then she shit everywhere in my hallway. Oh, and it's fine. And she didn't have any J juice. So don't be blaming the J juice, because it wasn't the J juice that did it. But no, it was the fact that her body was finally able to push out the damaged cells, the old programming of anti-inflammatories and antibiotics and whatever else they gave her during those surgical times and aspiration times, and anesthesia, because I'm sure they probably put her under an anesthesia too, whether it's local or full on asleep. And so her body released that, and so then this cyst started growing, and that's retroactive evolution. That is white blood cells, and I have to keep feeding her. And so the thing is growing huge, yes, but it's also growing a huge scab where she was aspirated countless times. And so then now you're seeing that we're going back in time. Like I said in my last video, when you climb up Mount Whitney or Mount Everest or Mount Fuji, for you to get the full experience and the best experience, you climb up and then you climb down. But people do is they climb up a mountain and they get airlifted off because they don't want to go through the pains of climbing down the mountain, which is probably the easiest. Climbing up the mountain is hardest, because of switchbacks and getting used to the thin air and all that. But people, they want to go through their life being cured, and when they get into accidents or they get disease, they get all their cures and get their medicines. But instead of them saying, okay, now it's time for me to recalibrate and revisit every single time I used a cure or had an accident and whatever, and stayed home and dealt with it actually properly instead of taking other medicine, people then take more medicine to compound it, and then they die. They never retrace their steps. They just keep going forward, and then they die. And at some point, when you want to evolve to a new atmosphere, you have to retrace your steps. You have to backtrack. And that's exactly what she's doing. She is backtracking, which means that she's reversing, yes, the aging process, but she's also revisiting past traumas, and especially the surgical traumas. And so I said to all of you guys, if you've ever gotten a surgery, or thinking about getting a surgery, I would think twice, unless you are in some kind of emergency accident and they're using the jaws of life on your car and extricating the steering wheel out of your neck. I would rethink any kind of surgery. But again, I'm not your doctor. But if you want to become whole again in the future, you're going to have to revisit that trauma, and it could be a cyst. It could be some kind of tumor growth that's going to come back 10 times worse, or 5 times worse, whatever that factor is relative to how aggressive that surgery is and that trauma. And you're going to have to revisit that and deal with it and respect it before then it goes back down, your body releases it. And so right now my dog is going through that medical trauma of 9 years ago. And so again, when you cut things out, see, that's the thing is that why can't people apply that same concept to regrowing arms and limbs when either you're born without them or they were cut off during an accident or amputated because of who knows what? Because I guess the reason why they don't have them grow back is because not only does your arm grow back, but you then also have to upgrade everything in your whole body to then match that arm. So if your arm's going to come back stronger than before, then every other system in your body has to also upgrade to the level of your arm. And that's probably why they have never had anyone regrow an arm, because it means that it's not just the arm that gets regrown, it's everything else that also has to get fixed. And it's painful if you're not prepared for all that energy of actual, literal, natural healing. Not the natural bullshit healing in the holistic world, but actual non-interference of Mother Nature, where you're just sitting and taking the pain and pulling out your poop programming and dealing with eating all food, no discrimination, so your body can code and feed every single aspect of everything that needs to be fed and dealt with. And so that is why people have not regrown arms and legs in the medical and holistic system, because people are not prepared for that level of full body healing. And so right now my dog is going through that level of full body healing. Not only has she gone through all the different seizures the last 2 years, but she had skin conditions. She had, weak, like hip dysplasia. Okay. Right now she's dealing with a cyst that is causing her to be a little bit more weak in the back legs, but that's okay because we have to deal with it. And she is eating a lot more. Like today, I've been feeding her every 2 hours. It's been nonstop since last night, since 2 o'clock in the morning all the way to right now. She actually has waned on eating the food because I was able to feed like every 2 hours, like ever since, so I got up at 2 and then I got up around like 4, 5 or 6 like that, get up, feed her, poop her, and she's walking around. She goes back to sleep for a couple hours and I feed her, poop her, give her water. She goes back to sleep for a couple hours, feed her, poop her. And so she's taking like 2 bottles at a time. So I'm going through these quarts like in half a day. By 12 o'clock, I'm going through almost basically a quart of that pureed meat and vegetables and fruits and milk. And so before it was just trying to get a quart into her, but now I can go right through a quart that quickly. And so that thing is growing because yes, it's building up a defense system so her body can build up the actual scabs it needs to, and it's going through layers and layers of strata. And so that's catching you up from where we left off since about a month ago. And so in about a month, more than that, because a month and a half, maybe 2 months, I don't know, what was it, November 9th? And we're in January 9th. So November, so that's about 2 months. I have my book published, got my dog on track, power fed her, and saved her from potential death that would have happened in November. And, I finally got my accounts back. I mean, the universe is working to my favor. That's a good thing. And then you guys will figure out your end of it. You guys will have to figure out that it's going to take, you got to look at what kind of surgeries you've been under. You're going to look at everything that you've ever done that was against nature in the medical and the holistic world. And so I'm going to say again, the medical and the holistic industry both violate the laws of nature, the laws of life of nature. The medical holistic industry abide by the laws of death in nature, but they do not abide by the laws of life. And so you have to know this. And if you don't want to know this and you are very invested in the holistic world, well, I hope you survive climate change. Because let me tell you, today I was so hungry. I had 3, and I'm like, holy shit, I had 3 pork chops and a big thing of rice. And I was ravenous for pork chops last night, but today I was like craving pork chops because it was the most substantial. I mean, I have steaks in there and everything, but I'm waiting for my husband for that. But I ate all the pork chops, one big huge thing of pork chops in like 2 days. And so I'm thinking like, I better go and figure out how to order a bunch of meat because I need the meat in this environment, because this environment is so aggressively energetic that not only is she improving in leaps and bounds because the energy is so aggressive, but also she's hungrier, so am I, and I'm also becoming extremely intelligent from these frequencies because I've already released the demons. I already pulled out all that crazy programming. Any kind of energy shift, if it starts fragmenting my immune system and I start getting congested in the middle of the night, I will blow my nose. In the morning, pull out the poop, eat food, drink my coffee, drink liquids, whatever, sleep when I can. and I don't get any adverse reactions from any frequency shifts, whether it's a Kraken, COVID-19 variant, or Omicron or Delta. I already released the demons, the Hydra colony forming units that were in my body for the last 2 years that finally woke up during climate change, because they were held under a cure through the J juice before 2019. Because I did so much J juice and then laid off a bit, and the frequencies weren't that bad. Even cold and flu season wasn't that bad. Yeah, there were frequencies, so I get hives here or certain things here. But really, when it became really aggressive, when the Delta and the Omicron, or those frequencies from the global HVAC system, started really making those particles accelerate extremely fast, that's when I got really aggressive headaches and hives and just lethargy, being lethargic, extreme fatigue, extreme hunger, where you feel like you're going to eat everything in your whole house. Like today, I felt like I was like actually double fisted. I was grabbing the rice and stuffing it in my mouth, and I was eating my pork chop and stuffing it in my mouth. I mean, I was basically a caveman because I was so hungry, because the frequencies are that intense. They're using up a lot of energy conversion, and you have to keep up with the energy conversion. Some of you are like enjoying how fast the energy conversion is because your weight's dropping off, your subjective beauty based upon our society's constructs, social constructs. You're enjoying that part of it where you're looking, like a MILF, because a lot of you are mothers and you're losing the weight because the frequencies are that aggressive. And so you're like, oh, look how hot I look. Yes, you look very hot, but you're also going to age that much quicker when the frequencies work the fat and work the collagen and work the muscles off your body. And so the environment's always working against you. Always, 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 always. And so you have to always keep up with this environment with food and sleep and rest and drinking water. Okay? Some of you have a lot more weight to you, so you have enough insurance, but you still have anomalies that you're going to have to deal with, that if you try to stop the energy from releasing, then you'll trap damaged cells within you, and then that's when people have issues and don't wake up. Okay, so I think I've caught you guys up for the most part, but welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Missed all of you. I mean, obviously 200 friends out of like 3,000 and 5,000 followers is a drop in the bucket, but that's okay. You guys are the main people, whether you're surveillance and you're reporting to all my trolls, or if you're actually legit really trying to figure this stuff out. I welcome you back, and I appreciate your energy regardless of how you manifest it. I appreciate your energy and everything. And so you guys have a great evening, and again, thank you. And this is where I'm going to be doing all my videos. I will not be doing too many videos, if at all, in the group. The group is just there for you guys just to talk amongst yourselves. I mean, it's not a group where you're like sharing remedies, because that's not the point of the group. That group is just there to say whatever the hell you want. That's not going to get you, get the group disabled by Facebook. Just keep it chill. Say whatever you got to say. But remember, the community standards. And nothing is poison. Nothing is poison. Just so you know, nothing is poison. Now you just have to open your system up, release the demons, and you can handle all therapies and the environment and being around your friends and family, and release the demons. Because every single time you get exposed to another frequency, it wakes up the Hydra within. And that Hydra turns into a disease. And that disease turns into something that you're going to want to treat and then compound the issue. Okay? So there is nothing poison. The issue is you people have closed systems, closed minds, and they're de-evolutionary, and they are one-sided, very biased. And eventually you're going to have to learn all arguments if you want to be able to be balanced in this society. Because once you learn all the arguments, you will not take part in politics. You will probably forego your religion, and then you will not worry about all the scientific dogmas and what is poison and what's not. Because the FDA already says what is pretty much standard and safe for the general population. And if you have an issue with any of the things that they approve, then you have the issue, not the FDA. Okay? And that's what people have failed to figure out, is they're the ones that have the issue, which is why they get adverse reactions from food, from water, from air, from therapies, from everything. And when you have to take a therapy regardless, then you're already at a deficit. So then you have no room to say anything. So those that have issues with therapies or are afraid of them, well, you already have deficits. So you have no leg to stand on. It's not going to matter what you do if you can't handle the environment. Have a good day. Bye.